statistics, and we're talking about dispersion of scale variables. We're continuing that. In this video, we're going to specifically talk about the dispersion around the median, and that is the interquartile range. Quartiles split the observations into 4 parts. Each part contains 25% of the observations. There are 3 quartiles that split up the observations. Quartile 2 is actually the median, and the interquartile range is the range of the middle 50% of the observations. So here's kind of an example. So in the middle we have quartile 2, and then quartile 1 is 3, and quartile 3 is 7. And so we're splitting the observations up to 4 parts, and each part contains 25% of the data. So in this example, each part has 2 observations in the data, and that's 25% of all the data. And then the interquartile range is the middle 50%, so it goes from 3 to 7. Here are the steps to find the interquartile range. The first step is to place the observations in order. The second step is to find quartile 2, the median. The third step is to find quartile 1, which is the middle value of the first half of the observations, the half before the median. Step 4 is to find quartile 3, the middle value of the second half of the observations. This is the half after the median. Step 5 is to subtract quartile 1 from quartile 3. Here's an example of how to find the interquartile range with an odd number of values. Step 1 is to place the observations in order. These are already in order, so we don't have to do that. Step 2 is to find quartile 2, the median. The median here is 5, and that's because we have 5 values on each side. And that's the middle value, quartile 2. Step 3 is to find quartile 1, the middle value of the first half of the observations. So that would be 3. So we have 2 on each side of the first half of the observations. Then we're going to find the middle half of, that's quartile 1, and then we're going to find quartile 3, which is the middle value of the second half of the observations. And that's 7, because we have 2 on each side on the second half, and that's quartile 3. And then we're going to subtract quartile 1 from quartile 3, and that's 7 minus 3, which equals 4. Here's another example with an even number of values. Step 1 is to place the observations in order. It's already done for us. Step 2 is to find the quartile 2, the median. Here we have kind of a tie for the median, so we're going to have to do our little trick and do 5 plus 5 divided by 2. So we add the 2 middle values and divide by 2 to get 5. And then step 3 is to find quartile 1. So that's the middle half of the first half of the values. And we're going to include that 5 when we're doing this. So we're going to have 3 as quartile 1. And we're going to have 2 on each side of the first half of the values. And then step 4 is to find quartile 3, and that's 7. So we're going to have 2 on each side of the second half of the values, and that's quartile 3. And step 5 is to subtract quartile 1 from quartile 3, and that's 7 minus 3, which is 4.